All right, and so as we saw this past weekend, aggressiveness in coaching might cost you a game. Uh, Alan, want to describe the scenario a little bit?
Yeah, so it looked like so the Colts were up by I think 3 at the time, and they got it to the red zone, got it to the 5 after a stupid pitch to Jonathan Taylor. So 4th and 5, up by 3, they had a decision to make. Either make the field goal, go up by 6, or go for it, go for the touchdown and try to just bury the Bills. And he chose to go for it, and they missed it, and they ended up losing by 3.
Yeah, I think when you're in that situation, you're at 4th and 5. Like I think you got to go for the points there. Like you lost by 3. If you did kick that field goal, you you would have went into overtime at the very least, and you would have had a chance to win the game. At that point, at their own 40, at Buffalo's 48, you really had to go for a Hail Mary, um, and Philip in his noodle arm really can't get the ball down there. But yeah, you got to take the points. You can't be that aggressive in a playoff game, especially at 4th and 5. If it was like 4th and 1, I could see it trying to go for it, just like let Jonathan Taylor eat, like get him into the end zone. But like sitting there, you got to take the points. There's no question about it.
I mean, when watching the game, when you think about the circumstance, the momentum was on the Colts side. Um, they were basically getting whatever they wanted from the Bills defense pretty much all game, and every time they were stalled, it was just self-inflicted, whether it was a dropped pass or just a throw that was slightly off. It seemed like it wasn't like the Bills really, they weren't the ones that were stopping the Colts. It was just the Colts hurting themselves. So going into that, it was like, yo, we just had this huge ass drive. You're at the 5-yard line, get a good playoff, try to go up by 10, and then take advantage of your running game and your good defense for the rest of the game. But like looking back at it, I felt like what no one talks about, it's like, okay, like let's say you do miss it, then you're forcing the Bills to drive 95 yards. And they missed it, but it was literally a perfectly designed play that Pittman actually dropped. So like the actual play call was great. Um, it should have been a touchdown. It wasn't. That was basically the story of their day. Um, the Bills, they ended up punting, but like who would have guessed that punter was just going to be bombing 80-yard punts all day? I mean, like that's what the analytics don't really tell you. It's like, okay, like you stop them short, you got a short field. But the punter he came out just chucking up chonkers, and like he would punt it to their 30 from there. So I mean, like looking back at it, like the analytics, yeah, like it tells you to go for it in that position just because of the low risk mentality. But I do love the fact that he was aggressive like he was all year. Frank Reich was doing this on the Eagles. That's why they won a championship. You don't just stop being aggressive once you're in the biggest game against the best offense in the entire league.
They're not
If
the best
they
offense.
The
The
Bills,
Bill the Bills are not the best offense.
top
It's the
2,
Chiefs.
top 3. But I mean, you still have like a high this this very intense offense, and you want to put up as many points as you possibly can against this team. And like I just feel like yeah, like they missed the field goal, or they didn't go for the field goal. They lost by 3, so it looks bad at the end of the day. But if the guy literally just caught that pass, then they win the game. Fucking overtime. They're probably going to lose that overtime. They would win the game. It comes down to execution, and you have to catch a pass like that.
No, yeah, but I mean, missing it, the momentum swung to the Bills' side like
Yeah,
almost immediately. Um, but like you also have to think about it. They also got the ball to start the second half, so they had two chances to score, only being down three. They they didn't they didn't score on the opening drive, but they did score that touchdown. And like that, once that momentum swung in their way after the 4th and 5 fail, like the momentum was just there the rest of the game because they scored that touchdown. I mean, those two catches by what was his name?
Gabe
Gabriel,
Davis.
Gabe Davis, were crazy. Like the fact that they had to go to two reviews in the final minute of the game of the
Clear
half, like
catches too.
yeah, they were like everything was just going their way, and like the momentum swung going into halftime. Once that happens, you're almost done. Like you got to take those points when you can. Like it showed that they needed to do that, and they didn't.
I mean, I just feel like you can't go into games being afraid, especially when you're playing a team like that that's not afraid of you. It's like you have to show them that you're a reckon to deal with. And I love the 2-pointer too. Like they yeah, it was
Two
like
point conversion.
it was a 2-point conversion. There was like some foul or some penalty. So it ended up being like a 1 yard 2-point conversion. Give it to Taylor, inside run, didn't get it. But I still love that. It's like, yo, you could get the points, could make this game really interesting. Everyone was clowning him for that. It ended up not really mattering because like the next touchdown they actually got the 2-pointer, so it canceled it out. But I mean that's what Frank Reich does. You know, like he's done this all season. That's why he won 11 games. You don't just change that mindset. That's undermining everything that he stands for. So I mean, if you're gonna go by the analytics, just be consistent with it. You live and die by it. If you're gonna be conservative, just be conservative.